And can you explain what is MCAS to the
Yeah.
listeners?
Yeah. I mean, it's really getting to that whole thing about keeping your eyes open. I trained, oh God, 40 years ago when I did my fellowship in New York City in allergy and immunology and infectious disease. I remember, I think, even doing a presentation on mast cells. And this is the funny thing, Dr. Cohen. When I had to do the presentation on it, when I went really all in depth about mast cells, mast cells were thought to be like only allergy related cells. Like mast cells were only important if you had allergies. And I remember thinking over the years, just a little bit, my free time, like, why would God invent a cell just to torture allergy patients? I mean, it's got to, it's got to do something else, right? And then, unfortunately, sure enough, God spoke, and unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and so many of us were seeing patients with this quote long haul COVID, and I think it's going to really pan out, and it's being more and more understood that essentially long COVID, possibly chronic Lyme, a lot of other conditions, and I know this for toxic mold because I see a lot of toxic mold patients. What they're doing is they're activating mast cells. And mast cells are not just an allergy cell. They're actually what I explain to patients. They're a primary immune cell. They're like what we call our patrol cells. They're patrolling around when you get a cut on your hand, when you get an infection. They're the first ones that get involved and respond. Later on, they bring in the T cells and the B cells and everything else, but they work immediately. And again, I make this analogy too. If they're always like on fire, if the stove is always turned up on high, you're going to feel awful because they're releasing all of these different type of mediators that make you itch, make you feel pain. So what I've seen again in treating COVID patients, treating toxic mold patients, and now I believe in Candida patients, that their symptoms overlap, and that can't be a coincidence. So I try to explain to patients, I can stabilize your mast cell activation, but I can really help you if I treat or identify the underlying problem.